This video is about setting up and using variables. So before we get started on the actual scripts themselves, we'll talk about what a variable is. So a variable is just a way of storing information in a program. So when you set up, or the proper term is declare, when you set up or declare a variable, what you're doing is you're setting up an area in RAM that's used to store information. And that area in RAM is given a name, so that's known as the variable name. And you can use the variable name to store information and also to retrieve that information. Okay, there are two different types. There are system variables and there are user-defined variables. What we'll do is we'll set up user-defined variables, which means that they will operate and run within a program. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll open up the example that I have and I'll explain the example itself. Okay, so I'm just going to type ls and I've already typed in the example. So I want to use nano variables.sh. And what this has done is it's opened up the file that I have already created. Okay, so to explain what's going on here. So as you can see, we have comments. So using comments is good programming practice. And whenever you type in a script or a program, you really should be using comments. So here we have the type of file it is. So it's going to run in a bash shell. It was created on the 29th of September. The author is me. It's an example of using variables, so it just explains what this particular file is going to do. Okay, so we have got this thing here, name. So name is an example of setting a variable. A variable can be any number of letters that you want, as long as it's not a keyword and it doesn't start with numbers. Okay, so name equals, and then inside quotes here, I've got Violet. So what that does is it sets up an area in RAM, and the area in RAM is called name. And inside that area in RAM, we're storing my name, Violet. Okay, it could be anything, but in this case, it just happens to be my name. So that's the example of setting a variable up. So we've got name equals Violet. To use the actual variable itself, to reference it and get the information from it, we have to use $name. So the example here, echo space hello space, and then I have $name. What I'm telling the machine to do is to go look inside the area of memory called name, get whatever's stored inside it, bring it out and write it to the screen. So it will write whatever is stored inside that area in memory. In this case, it will write out Violet. Okay, so to see this actually running, to see what happens, I'm just going to Control O to write it out and Control X. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure that this file is executable. So to do that, we use chmod, and I'm doing 775 variables.sh. Okay, so I'm making the file executable, and then to run the file, /variables.sh. And it just says, hello Violet. What we'll do is I'll go back into variables So nano variables.sh, and I'm going to change the name here. Okay, so I've put my full name in there. You can change it and put in your name or anything else that you want. So I've made changes. So just to prove that the contents of the variable name change dependent on what you store inside it, we'll save the file. So that's Control O, then Control X, and it's / because we've already changed the permissions. Variables.sh. Help if I spelled it right. And it says, hello, Violet McLean. What you could do is try it a few times and try different bits of text in there. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to go in and I'm going to create another variable. So again, nanos variables.sh, and this time I'm just going to say town equals Glasgow. Okay, and then down the bottom, echo your town is, and then to use the variable town, it's just $town. So now we need to save this. So we've set up our variable town. So we set up an area in memory called town, and we're storing Glasgow inside of it. And then we're going to write out to the screen, your town is $town. We'll write out whatever's stored inside that value town. So Control 0 to save, then Control X. And then we want to type /variables.sh. And you've got, hello Violet McLean, your town is Glasgow. You'll have whatever you have typed in. So setting up a variable is just a question of picking a variable name. The variable names are case sensitive, so you need to make sure that if you're going to use a variable, that particular variable name has to be the same case in all instances that you actually use the variable itself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a different file this time. So I'm going to get a variable from a user. Okay, so to do that, I'm just going to open up nano getName.sh. And what I've got here is I've got an example of getting information from a user. So I've got lots of comments here. So the comments are the information with the hash symbol on the front. So you have the author, the date. This is an example of getting user from the data from the user. And then I have got clear. So clear is clear screen. And I'm echoing out, writing out to the screen, please enter your name. So the command to read information in from the user is read. So in this case, we have read space name. So what it will do is it will take whatever the user types in and it will store it in an area of memory called name. Okay, and this is an example of us writing a message out to the user. So echo hello, then $name. Now we don't know what's been typed in. All it's doing is it's going to that area in memory, taking what's inside that area in memory, bringing it out and writing it to the screen. And then it says echo, how are you today? And then end of file. So what we'll do is we'll run the program and see what happens. So Control O if you've made changes. Control X. We have to make sure the file is executable. So chmod 775 getname.sh, and then to run /getname.sh. Please enter your name. I'm just going to put my name, and then it's hello, how are you today? And if I run it again and just put something else in, it will automatically take whatever has been typed in by the user. It stores that information into the variable. In this case, we've called the variable name, but it stores that information into the variable, and then we use the variable to write the information back to the screen. So again, I'm going to edit this file. I'm going to make a few changes. So I'm going into nano get name. Okay, so down here, I'm going to echo, please enter town. And then I'm going to read town. And down underneath echo name, I'm just going to type echo you live in, and I'm going to use $town because that's what I'm actually reading the information in and storing it in. Okay, so we're asking for a name and we're asking for a town. So I'll come up here. I'm just going to put a comment in. So the information is stored in a variable called town. Okay, so I'm going to save this. So to save it, it's Control O, hit enter. To come out, Control X. Now we've already changed the permissions, so we don't have to do that again. All we have to do is run the file. So ./getname.sh. Please enter your name. Please enter town. It's hello Violet, do you live in Glasgow? How are you today? And I can do it again. So please enter your name. Please enter your town. Hello Glasgow Clyde, you live in Anniesland, how are you today? So it changes depending on what you actually type in. So whatever's stored inside the variable changes depending on what you have typed in. Try the exercises now. If you're not entirely sure, what you can do is you can watch the video again, or you can ask me questions.